Good afternoon, my lovelies. You are in my kitchen, in the Queen's Curry kitchen, and we are making two things today. So, as you know, I am Nupur. I am the owner and the chef of Queen's Curry Kitchen, a meal delivery service right here in New York. I also teach Indian cooking, so I am a culinary instructor. I teach Indian cooking online and I write books on the subject. I'm extremely passionate about everybody learning to cook simple Indian food and embracing flavors and living a flavorful life. So that's what I'm all about. Let me show you what we made today for a catering gig that we had to make sandwiches for. On the menu, we had chicken tikka sandwiches. We had an aloo tikki and chana sandwich, which was totally vegan. And then we had a tuna salad sandwich. So I can't be making all of them, but I'm going to show you the one that I did make. One of them is here. So I brought it home. And then my daughter, of course, now she wants a Greek version of this and she doesn't want the Indian version. So I convinced her to try my aioli. This is an aioli made with cilantro and mint, chutney and mayonnaise, lemon juice, a little bit of salt and sugar and chaat masala. Hello, Shara. How are you? It's good to see you, my love. So Sherry wants to do a rice bowl. I want to do a Greek-ish version of it. So I'm going to use these little tiny naans that you get. And these are just store-bought. I think these are from Aldi or Trader Joe's or something. So I'm just going to take a couple of these and I'm going to put them in the air fryer. Let me do that right in front of you. I will need my cooking spray for that. So I'm just going to toss them right in here. Shara, if you are wondering what to do with your air fryer, I know you just got a new one, so congratulations on that. This is one of the things that you can make. You could just get store-bought pita bread and you can put whatever toppings and make. You could put like vegan cheese or you could put pasta sauce and make little appetizers. You can also kind of bread that you have. This is going to go into an air fryer on the pizza setting for about 2 minutes, okay? And it'll be nice and warm. You can use butter if you like. Pizza setting. 2 minutes. Okay, now moving on. Let me quickly show you all the components that I have, which are going to be for my daughter. It's going to be a rice bowl, and for us, it's going to be a sandwich. The bread that I'm using for my sandwich is just a regular roll. You can use hoagies. You can also make it an open sandwich by using smaller bread, whatever you've got. Hello, Laura Lane and Chris. Oh my God, welcome. If it's your first time here, do not let this be your last time because you need to follow this page and keep coming back here for chit chat, for flavorful food, for recipes and everything in between. Okay, so let us get started. I'm sorry for my appearance. I've been up since 5 o'clock and I was in the production kitchen trying to get this order and I just delivered it, so pardon my appearance. So I already spoke about the aioli. This is a combination. Aioli is anything that's an aromatic or an herb which is added to sour cream or mayonnaise to make a dipping sauce or a spread. Okay, so this is what it is. You can add sumac to this, you can add black pepper to this, you can add garlic, you can make any kind of aioli that you like. Okay, so she will be doing some basmati rice. I've also got some feta cheese for her to give it that Mediterranean kick. This is the salad I put together for her. I do not have cucumbers or tomatoes today. If you have cucumbers and tomatoes, then by all means make it a Greek salad. But I have red radishes, I have romaine lettuce, and I have red onions in here. I am going to grab my oregano, and you're going to need a good olive oil, like a really good one, right? Not the cheesy one, not the bad one. So either a good olive oil or like a nice balsamic vinaigrette dressing or something. But the flavors are really, really simple. You basically got to do some kind of a lemon juice, which is going to be the acid. You have to do the oregano, which kind of gives it that characteristic flavor. But you know what? I'm happy that after trying my version of it, she said, oh, let it be. You don't have to do too much. So I'm totally stoked about that. So it means that there is some kind of an approval that I got for this. Okay. Now, we are going to plate it in something very pretty. Ta-da! I love this. This is something I bought in India when I went there this time. And I kid you not, I am totally in love with this bowl. Hi Sarla, how are you? It's good to see you. I've literally started going places and people are like, oh, I know you from Facebook. Aren't you the girl on Facebook? I'm like, yep, that's me. That is me, baby. That is me. Okay, so we are going to start out with, so here's the thing, like you can make basic things like this, and then depending on what your family prefers, and you're in a family, everybody wants something different. You can do the same thing with quinoa if you don't want to do basmati rice. You can do the same thing with just the naan and like some kind of dips or whatever. So there's just many ways to do this. There's no right or wrong. The air fryer just told me that it's done. Let's take a look at that. Ooh, these are good. So you can see these are just so pillowy soft. Check it out. Woo. They are so pillowy soft and they make the perfect dunking thing when you're trying to hold on to something with. Okay, we have some baba ganoush. So I use a lot of store-bought stuff too, and I make things from scratch as well. The beauty of this is that you have to do a combination of things that you buy from the store and things that you come up with yourself. So I call it semi-homemade, right? That's the name I've given it. So I've already warmed up. I will give her the bigger pieces and I'm going to use the smaller pieces for my sandwich. So let's just give her some of the big pieces. And you guys always, like me to do plating videos and plating stuff. So I always like to bring interesting things because I will talk about how we build contrast and, how things are supposed to look next to each other and all that good stuff. So I will be telling you all about that as well. Okay, now into the salad, I am going to add some oregano. Hello, Shadiq Khan. Welcome to the Queen's Curry Kitchen. I hope you're doing well today and life is treating you well. It's a little bit of a gloomy day right here in New York, but you know what? No 2 days are the same in life. I'm going to add some lemon juice. You can add fresh or bottled. I prefer fresh, but right now I just have too many cuts in my hand, so I'm not trying to squeeze a lemon. Okay, and then we are also going to add some salt and pepper. You know what is pepper? So the thing that really makes the salad pop is definitely the oregano. Put the salt with a very, very light hand because you are going to add the feta cheese, right? So add the pepper in here. I also like to add either sumac or tahini to my salads. Like, don't ask why. I think it's only because I live in Queens and I can. So I like this tart element. I know it has nothing to do with Mediterranean food, but I just like it. So I like to make it my own. I am going to add a few sprigs of dill to my baba ganoush. Don't ask me why. Like I said, I can, so I'm going to. Right? And a few onto here. Try not to put too many herbs in one thing. Then you're going to go in with clean hands and just toss it super gently like this. So when you eat a salad that has a lot of leafy greens, make sure you dress your salad with oil because there are some nutrients that can only be absorbed better. My cuts are burning. I gotta wash my hands. So there are some nutrients that can only be absorbed best when combined with oil. Okay. So this is gonna go here. The salad is gonna go here. I'm gonna just nudge the rice a little bit out of the way. Put the red onions for that splash of color. And always, whenever you put in your salad, like try to build the height of it, right? So anything that's elevated looks super nice. Now I have my little puffy little. I am going to hit this with some olive oil. You can also do butter once it comes out of the air fryer. It just helps to keep it super moist. You can do, the EVOO, the extra virgin olive oil. You can do grass-fed butter. You can do here. So this is a mere suggestion of how this should be eaten. And then of course we have feta. Now whenever you're using feta cheese, just cut a block of it and then wash it. It doesn't really make it less salty, but it makes it definitely more palatable. So just a quick rinse. Or then if you don't like the saltiness of Greek feta, then you can go with a French feta, which is a tad bit less salty than this is, right? So now where do you place this thing? If you take a good look at the plate, you have the blue, you have the green, you have the orange, you have all the whites right here. These are the whites. This is also white. So pay attention to contrast building on your plate. And ideally, I would just put big blocks of it right next to my salad, only to suggest that it does go together. And then you can either hit it with sumac or paprika or good old tahini for that little splash of color. And we're gonna go in and drizzle just a little bit of olive oil on the chicken to keep it moist. I'm gonna put on some chaat masala. If you're Indian, you know what chaat masala is. It's a combination of, listen, if you're liking this video, if you like what you see, feel free to share it with your friends. Feel free to share it with somebody who likes to watch Indian food or likes good plating techniques and whatever. Now the aioli that I made, I am going to drizzle some of it right on top of the chicken. Right? So again, this is a lighter color. So whenever you do a lighter color, make sure that it has like a dark color underneath it. There you go. Okay, and you can add some herbs if you wish. If you don't want to do that, you can totally skip it. You can add a wedge of lemon just to freshen things up a little bit. Okay, so this is her platter that she's going to get for lunch today. That's what it is. If anybody wants to take a screenshot, be my guest, go ahead. We have 2 pitas on either side. We have a quick salad with romaine lettuce, onions, and feta cheese. I also have a little bit of a baba ganoush, which is of course store-bought smoked eggplant. We have basmati rice, and then we have chicken tikka, which is chicken that's been made in the clay oven tandoor. Okay, so that's that. Hello, Kina. Good afternoon. So this is already done for her. I'm just going to give her a holler so she can come get it. Sherry, come get it. And now I'm going to jump to showing you how we do the sandwich. So you could have the same basic components. Just think like Chipotle for a minute, right? Just be with me with this thought. So think like Chipotle. What do they have? They have the chicken. They have like protein options. Then they have their 2 kinds of beans. They have one rice, and then they have the burrito, which is the bread. So think like that for a minute. If you can put together all those elements and then pick and choose however you want it from the same, whatever, 5 or 6 elements, they are making burritos, they're making bowls, they're making wraps, they're making everything, right? So just think like Chipotle for a minute. So this is our chicken tikka, which I've actually... She snuck the plate out of the kitchen. So it's the same size of chicken that we put on the rice bowl, but I just cut it into chunks. This is white meat chicken, so this is chicken breast. I'm going to give you a quick tip about how to keep it moist, right? A lot of people say that when I grill the chicken, it becomes hard, or when I reheat the chicken, it becomes hard, and so then all the old wives' tales revolve around, oh, brine the chicken, put it in the salt and sugar brine for so many hours, and then it'll be moist. I'll tell you the biggest thing. If you're grilling it, number 1, don't cut it into small pieces before grilling it, right? So keep the pieces big. Even if it's a thinly sliced piece of chicken, don't make super thin or super small pieces. What that does is it exposes more of a surface area to heat, and then it dries it up more. So chicken breast by default is not as moist as dark meat chicken. So we need to do whatever we can to preserve that moisture. Now, if you do a marinade of yogurt or any kind of sour cream or mayonnaise or dairy based anything into chicken, or even egg, it keeps it moist for quite some time. However, if you don't have any plans of using yogurt or sour cream or mayonnaise or eggs in your chicken marinade, then definitely keep the pieces pretty darn big, so that after you've done grilling it, you can slice it thinly and you can sprinkle butter or olive oil on top, and it'll still retain the juices, right? Do cook your chicken to an internal temperature of 165 degrees. You have a probe thermometer, you can do that. Or if you don't have a thermometer, when you cut the chicken, it should be clear and not pink from anywhere. Even if it's a thick, chunky chicken breast, you can always throw it on the grill and grill it at a low flame so that it'll not be raw from the inside. So those are 2 tips. The other thing is, if your heat is high, then cook for less time. If your heat is low, then cook for longer time. So you can't have both and both. So temperature and time are the 2 factors that you can control. So if your temperature is going to be low, like if you're going to be slow baking or smoking or whatever, slow grilling the chicken, then make sure your temperature is super low. If you're going to do a fast process, just do a high temperature and then get it in and out, right? So you'll be, the thinner you slice it, the quicker it'll cook, but make sure it's not dry. And the trick to doing that is to marinate it with mayonnaise. You can marinate it with Greek yogurt. You can marinate it with just yogurt. Just make sure that when you lift it out of the marinade and throw it on the grill, there shouldn't be too much gloppy liquid floating around. So that's pretty much the key to this, okay? Now, as much as I'm tempted to make it on the Kaiser roll, I will actually make it on sliced bread, only because I do not have the appetite to finish an entire roll, okay? So I'm going to just use a store-bought semolina bread. And I could have grilled it. Maybe I should. You know what? Why don't I stick this in the air fryer while I take a few questions from you guys, right? I'm not trying to do the Greek version, so I won't be adding any feta salad to this. I will stick to the same salad that I made for Sherry. But I will be using more of the aioli. I'm going to stick this back into the air fryer. So this is my toast. I've just sprayed it on, this is my bread. I'm going to toast this. I've sprayed it on both sides and it's going to go into the air fryer for about 3 minutes. So again, I use the pizza setting, but I bring the time down to about 4 minutes, 3 to 4 minutes, and that should do it. Okay, so that was that about how to make chicken tikka or chicken tandoori at home. This is how you do it. All commercial restaurants do add red food coloring to it. If you travel to places like Turkey or Syria or Turkey, Syria, Lebanon, Palestine, like how they do chicken is that they add a little bit of tomato paste to it. So what that does is it not only helps to bring the color to the chicken, it also caramelizes. When the tomato paste caramelizes, it gives it that nice char. So, and it helps to stick all the spices onto the chicken. So you can use tomato paste as one of the marinades. It really works like a charm. It has that tartness, it has that sweetness, and tomato paste is made from tomatoes that really are at their prime. So they're tasty regardless of whatever season your fresh tomatoes are coming in. If you have a tomato paste, it will pretty much taste good. Okay, so this is the same naan that I was talking about. This is the brand of baba ganoush that I use a lot. It's called Sunny Joe's, and I think it's really good. It is pretty creamy, but I really like it. This is what it looks like. They just did a repackaging, right? So if anyone's looking for a good brand of, this would be it. Also, when I do a lot of catering parties, I rely greatly on some of the salads that are available in local stores and Israeli, like Middle Eastern stores around my neighborhood. Trust me, try to take the time to explore what all is out there where you live, ethnic food stores. You'll be surprised. Like now when I go to the Indian stores, sometimes I'll see non-Indian people shopping there, and I think that's really great. I mean, if you live in a neighborhood where you have some kind of ethnic food store, it's really a lot of fun to go and see what all is out there, right? You may not know the cuisine, but you can see what is the raw material that they use to make that cuisine. Okay, I'm going to take a quick peek at the bread and then we can start assembling the chicken tikka sandwich. This is the aioli that I shall be using. Here's the chicken tikka. I won't be using any feta. I won't be using any rice. I'm going to be using some of this romaine and this mixture. And that's about it. I don't like tomatoes in my sandwich. I will be using some cheese which was actually sitting in my car for the time that I was driving with my deliveries. Okay, so here's the bread. It tends to warp a little bit. You can see it's pretty crunchy. So I'm going to go in with a bread knife and cut it first. Okay, we are going to just flatten it just a little bit, and we will work with the aioli. Now ideally you can also put like chicken tikka masala sauce in here. We're just going to give it a base of the aioli, so that's what protects the bread from sogging out, right? Because the mayonnaise is pretty thick and it's an oil and an egg yolk based condiment, it prevents the bread from getting soggy with whatever you put inside. Okay, so the aioli goes on, and I'm only going to pile up the stuff on one side, not on two sides. The chicken goes on. Also, when you put the aioli, make sure you get it into all the corners, because that's where you feel the most cheated. If you get to the edge of the sandwich and like seasoning is missing or it doesn't have the taste. So when you're making a sandwich, just make sure that the first to the last bite, every bite should have everything. So I was once working as an assistant chef, and I had to work the line. We were making chicken Milanese sandwiches, and the chef was like, just make sure when you drizzle all your sauces and dips, every bite should taste the same. So just make sure that none of the corners are ignored. I like to work with your hands, so just make sure your hands are super duper clean. Okay, now I'm gonna put in just one, maybe two. You know, I like to use an assortment of cheeses. I'll put 2 different kinds. In the sandwiches that we just did for the catering, we put 4 different kinds of cheeses right next to each other, and it totally worked. I'm gonna take this and put it back into, you can do this in the air fryer or in your microwave, but do not put this on raw bread and then put it inside. So I'm just gonna try to melt the cheese. If you have one of those torch flame thingies, you can actually also just broil the cheese with that, or you can stick it under the broiler. If you have guests coming, you can actually make the toast ahead of time and then do the assembling just before you're ready to serve, and then broil the cheese. So that's really a good way to do it. If you want to serve them cold, you can serve these sandwiches cold as well. Just make sure there's enough lettuce for the crunch and everything is fresh, so that when you're serving it, now look at this. Look at this little melty cheese action that's going on. Oh my God, like who does not love chicken and cheese, right? So if you're vegan, you can also do the same thing with a plant-based cheese and a plant-based chicken. You can absolutely do that. Now is the time to pile on some of this onion and radish and romaine lettuce salad. I should have taken out some without the oregano, because now it's going to be like neither Indian nor Greek, somewhere in the middle of everything. Who doesn't love some raw onions? I do have to go to work, so, and I'm not about to kiss anybody, but you know what? If you like the onions, use them. If you don't like them, you could either opt for shallots or spring onion greens or something, or just bell peppers, like if you don't do onions, right? That's that. A little more. Hello, Tim. How are you? I thought I'd be seeing you this week. Just a little more of a drizzle to make it more irresistible. I'm telling you, this aioli, like sometimes I forget how good I am. My God, like, am I good or am I good? Not to brag or anything, not because I made it. And I always prefix my tasting by saying, not because I made it. This is the second part of it that's going to go on. Hey, how about some tahini on this? Yes, of course. What is life without this, right? If you have not tried this, guys, you need to get this in your life. This is not a sponsored video, but okay. So just press it down. It's nice and toasty. It's not as hot as I would like my sandwich to be, but it's something. Now, this is what you call a chicken tikka sandwich. Check it out. Who's taking a screenshot so I can actually put it on my stories? Okay, now I'm banking on you to take all the screenshots. Okay, so here is what the chicken tikka sandwich looks like. I've done it on sliced bread and I've toasted it. So here is the moment of truth. We are going to do a taste test. total time release of flavors. First, the crunchy bread comes through. Then you get the creaminess of the aioli. Then the chicken with its nice bold flavors of ginger and garlic, that hits you. Then you get a little bit more of the creaminess from the aioli. Then you get the crunch from the onions and the radish. And somewhere along the way, the saltiness from the cheese, like just at the right time. So yes, this is a good sandwich. But you know what? I should have also made chai on the side, because now I feel like that's what I'm missing. What's a sandwich without chai? You can see that I did not make it super crisp. What is that? The fun of that is that if it's too crisp, your sandwich a little bit of a shelf life. Like by the time you assemble it, take it to your guests or take it to your table, even if you're doing a sandwich platter, it buys you some time, and then all the flavors go and sit on the inside of the bread, which is not as toasted, and the outside is still crunchy and crisp, right? So that's pretty much how we do our sandwich. I will try to do a tuna sandwich tutorial. If anyone's interested, just drop it in the comments below. I can try to do one of those one of these days. And then I can also show you the aloo tikki and the chana sandwich, which was the extremely popular but the 100% vegan sandwich that we did today for the catering. Oh yeah, you'll be in the city next week. All right, just let me know which day you're coming in and I will be sure to see you there. If you have not gone to my website and downloaded a free chana masala recipe, perhaps you need to do that. I see a lot of people placing orders for the spice blends and for the chai, so thank you, thank you. My heart is truly humbled that you will give it a try. I appreciate it. Also, the snack investigation unit on TikTok actually did a post about my chai, and following that, a lot of people have actually tapped into our website and tried to place orders. So thank you. I'm going to try to ship so that you will have them in time for the holidays and you can enjoy the masalas and the chais with your family. Like always, be blissful and flavorful. I will see you in another video real soon. If you know somebody who is missing the taste of home or home style cooking, you can always give me a call or give them my number. Share this video if you liked anything about it, or if it brought a smile to your lips, or it made you think of, why don't we get Indian style sandwiches here in New York? Well, we do. You just have to ask. Okay, I might be going live again on Saturday morning because I have a brunch catering for which I will be making shakshuka with masala bread, and I will be making all the components for a chicken tandoori taco station. So that's definitely on the cards. I will see you in another video. Until then, keep smiling and shining. Be blissful and flavorful. Take care of yourself. Take the time to say hi to your neighbors. And I'll see you next time. Bye.